Welcome to another episode of Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast. If this is your very first episode, let me explain to you what this listener mail means. We have a full episode that comes out every Monday, and on Thursdays, we ask you, the listeners, to submit your favorite moments, your thoughts on the movie that we just talked about. And of course, this is Captain Marvel's week, so we're going to talk about Captain Marvel. My name is Emmanuel.
And my name is Sophia.
Yeah, she's with me for this listener mail episode. So exciting stuff. I'm not by myself.
Very exciting.
I'm normally just all alone.
Eyes closed.
Seriously, I record this part with my eyes closed. So this whole week we've been asking you guys to send us your thoughts on Captain Marvel. We even gave out our phone number, and a lot of you have left messages, text us.
In the middle of the night at like 2 a.m.
Okay, yeah. Booty called us. So what we're going to do is we're going to play some of what you had to say, and then we'll talk about it again. Obviously, Captain Marvel, really big movie, changing a lot of what's happening at the box office. Really sleepy year until Captain Marvel. I think it made almost $500 million in 3 days, three-ish days. Crazy.
Is that past Black Panther?
It has.
Wow.
In terms of opening. And we still don't know yet. I think this weekend is really going to tell how long or how successful it's going to be because, there's other movies coming out. And also a lot of movies have a really big drop off in the second weekend. Captain Marvel someone pointed this out to me, hasn't beaten Batman versus Superman in the United States in its first weekend, but Batman versus Superman had one of the largest drop-offs of any film. I think it was 70%. It was a steep drop.
That's crazy.
So we'll see if Captain Marvel sustains what it's doing right now. But that's boring stuff. That's numbers. That's math. Who cares about box office? It's not like
Who cares about math?
It's not like we're getting any of that money.
True.
It's weird. I look at box office. I'm like, oh, this movie made a lot of money, and I'm like, why do I care? I don't get any of this money.
Thanks, Marvel.
If anything, it's the opposite. Like we give them the money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we tell people to go watch it.
I know. Anyways, so before we get started going through some of your reviews and some things that you bring up, I just want to say we are selling t-shirts. If you want to support this podcast, that is free, that is ad free. We don't have ads in this thing.
We do not have ads.
And support us. We pay for hosting. We spend some money watching these movies, obviously, and getting all this stuff out.
Right.
Mailing stuff to you guys. You can buy a shirt, and for every shirt that we sell, we're able to make a little something that helps
little magic happen.
Yeah, helps us keep going.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at these shirts, they're on bonfire.com/countdown to infinity. There'll be a link.
Thing.
Yeah, there'll be a link here. bonfire.com/countdown to infinity. It'll be in the details. I'll put a link there. But buy a shirt. They look cool.
They're very cool looking.
Yeah.
They're very retro looking. I like
retro.
them a lot. I've already got 2 of them on the way. I'm very excited.
So there's a Walkman in there somewhere. And they come
on the shirt.
Oh yeah, we're not giving away a Walkman. Also, they're super cheap, so you can find one for free.
Super reasonable.
But they are in the color of all the Infinity Stones. Purple's popular, of course, black and gray, yellow, red. See what you can pull out. Any color you can pull off, get it.
Nice.
With this.
Do it.
So bonfire.com/countdown to infinity. Please buy a shirt, please. And right now, if you buy it, you'll get it in time for ENDGAME, so you can wear it to ENDGAME.
Yeah, wear it to
that'd be sweet.
To the showing. Nice.
All right, so we're going to get started here. And actually,
I'm so excited.
Before we get into some of the phone calls, we did get some. I'm just going to read one of our Facebook comments about the movie. It's from Donning Hollingsworth. He said he just watched Captain Marvel at the midnight showing. He said this, I really enjoyed it. Bri Larson was great as Captain Marvel, and Samuel L. Jackson was great as Nick Fury, as per usual.
Yes.
All the bad reviews about this movie had to be just butthurt guys who don't want a female lead in the Marvel movie. Love you guys, podcast. Much love from Japan.
Ooh,
super nice.
Japan. What up, Japan?
I know. We might be in Japan.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Don't give it away. Stop.
Oh, sorry. Soon. So we may hang out there, Donnie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really, really good movie.
Thank you, Donnie, for that comment. That's so cool.
Sweet comment. All right, I'm going to read a text message too before we go to the mail.
Okay. Who texted you?
Oh man, I don't know. We don't have caller ID. So this is a text.
Yeah, make sure you guys put your names.
Let me read the text. The phone number. I'm just kidding.
No. Oh my god, no.
So this is an unknown person texted us.
Ooh, it could be from Marvel Studios themselves.
I know this could be Bri Larson herself.
Hey, Bri.
Just telling everyone how great it is. But it is a New York phone number. I will say that. He said this: I screamed through the entire thing. It was amazing. Luckily, the audience screamed right along with me. That's really awkward if they didn't scream with you. Oh God! I still can't believe the first end credit scene. Oh gosh, yeah.
I
That's
know.
another thing. There will be spoilers in this. So if you haven't seen the movie, turn it off.
Yeah, 100%.
Go watch it. I can't believe people didn't wait for it. Oh my gosh, people left before the first end credit scene.
Noobs.
Yeah.
Golly.
Also, it was so good.
You can always tell who's a real Marvel fan and who's not because the people that leave, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And then he said, can't wait to see her in Endgame. She is someone little girls can look up to now.
Absolutely.
It's not just Black
100%.
Widow, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Here's our first voicemail. Take a listen.
Okay.
Hey, Delphin Pod. This is Josh speaking, brother of Sam, who leaves you guys quite a lot of messages. Just put this out there. I've taught him everything he knows. So, yeah, I'm going to take full credit of all of the nice things you said about him. Just got out of Marvel, Captain Marvel. Very happy. I was left giddy and excited and very different to how I left Infinity War. Kind of watching it, I felt like how I felt when I was a kid and like seeing blockbusters back then. It's funny, it's charming, it's witty, very stylized, lots of color, even through like the kind of IMAX glasses. Great art direction, the fight choreography was great. Obviously a good soundtrack, very 90s, very used at very good times. Fury, funny as hell. As you see a really new side of Samuel L. Jackson, it's great, and the de-aging is just impeccable. I love what they did with the Skrulls. They look great. The transformation is awesome, and they do some very unexpected things and very awesome things with them. And like you've heard already, Ben Mendelsohn is so good. Scene stealing, and he kind of reminded me a little bit of Tom Hardy, like good Tom Hardy in like Bronson and Peaky Blinders and stuff. Bri, yeah, brilliant, charming, witty, badass, and kind of like everything I liked about her in Scott Pilgrim and Community, where it's just that kind of subtle, confident humor.
All right. Thanks, Josh. We had to cut it short because of time, but there were a couple of things that he said in there that was really, really cool that we didn't even talk about in the original podcast.
Yes.
He talked about the makeup, the de-aging. We talked about that a little bit, but it was really, really good.
It was fantastic. Really was. I mean, I couldn't even tell the difference.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson looked a lot younger.
He looked so younger, but I mean, like from old films that they were in, like I couldn't.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Coulson looked good.
Yes.
I mean, it looks like they gave him hair, a little hair. But a lot of good points there with the actors. Bri Larson, Samuel L. Jackson. How exciting. Good stuff. Yep. Oh, and then he talked about his brother too.
He did. Oh, yeah. He said that he taught his brother Sam everything that he knows.
Sam almost every week. We read a comment from
Sam
him.
can't get all the credit. It's all Josh, apparently.
Yeah. All right. Here's our next voicemail.
Hello, Delphin Pod. This is Rich. Podcast. First time caller, long time listener. Want to say I love the podcast for sure. My first impressions of Captain Marvel, are just, it was overwhelming. I was super pumped going into it, really, really excited. Bought a t-shirt specifically for the viewing. My wife got VIP seating. I had a few drinks, which is also some of the reason why I can't remember all the main plot twists of the movie. But the majority of it was just kind of slammed in your face. Here's Carol Danvers. Here's Captain Marvel. Here's an origin story that half of you out there are going to get, and I think they were appealing to people who maybe were reading some of the comics prior to going into it and finding out who Captain Marvel was in excitement and anticipation to this movie, but then the other, half of Marvel fans who are just like seeing how this character is going to fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was all it was fun, I guess, like as a story, but again, it was like way too much in one movie, just kind of so we could go from Infinity War to Endgame, I guess, with her as the main character and being, apparently the strongest Avenger, as we wrap up, the Infinity Wars. But anyway, long story short, I got to see it again. I know that for sure, to get like a final opinion and see how I feel. But ultimately, if I was to answer right now, I didn't like it. I didn't think Bri Larson was good in that role either, as a superhero, as the superhero we're supposed to expect in this role. So, me personally, I'd give it a thumbs down for right now. Anyway, thanks for the podcast. Very entertaining. Love it. Love when a new episode comes out. And I will hopefully, talk to you soon. I think that's the regular ending to a phone call. Bye.
It kind of broke up when he was saying his name. I know it starts with an R.
It does start with an R. I was thinking maybe Rudy, Richard.
Rick? I heard Rick.
Rick? Maybe
we'll find
Rick.
Out. I know,
but
right?
he's for sure from Idaho. But thanks for that input.
Yeah.
He said he bought a shirt for the viewing.
How
that
exciting.
was interesting.
VIP.
He can buy a shirt from us now for
the hard sale.
For Endgame.
But yeah, so a couple things that he pointed out was there was, and you can't really fault him for saying this, because there is a lot in this movie. There's a lot that they're trying to get you from not knowing who Captain Marvel is
at all, and
to
then falling in love with her real quick.
I know, to her being like probably one of the biggest saviors in Endgame. So,
and the strongest Avenger.
Yeah, I get that. I get they do put a lot into this movie, and
it does feel a bit rushed. You can tell from the beginning for sure that it feels a little rushed.
We talked about this, I think, on the actual episode.
On the pod,
how they do have her being on Earth in space, even in some weird time thing where she can see time back and forth. So
that's
it is
from the intelligence.
Yeah, so it's enough to fit 3. But that's in 1. I will say, I will tell you to go watch it again, because it is something you watch a couple times in order to get all of
to process everything.
Because there is a
realize
lot.
How much it makes sense. Yeah, in the timeline, and it has to. Well, I mean, they had to rush this one because she had to be in the picture for Endgame. Like she had to be part of the huge plan. Yeah, because she is one of the, or if not the strongest Avenger.
And you can imagine them having this movie kind of waiting for it and waiting for all of the story,
right?
Because this movie did shoot after Infinity War finished shooting.
Yep.
So they probably had an idea what they wanted her origin story to be.
Right.
And then after they started making cuts to Infinity War, having to go back and probably changing some things to be like, oh, we need her to be at this point because this is what we've filmed. So it's really exciting to see. Here's our next listener mail.
Yay.
Hey, John, Delphin, Drew. Hey, it's Brian. I just saw Captain Marvel. I'm a little bit sick right now, but I wanted to call you guys a message. The movie was really fun. It was full of crazy what the fuck moments, things I wasn't expecting. I hope you guys are having a blast with the podcast. See you guys soon. Bye.
Thanks, Brian, for that voicemail. Brian lives in town.
He does. He lives
and I think he's been on this podcast.
Yeah, he lives like maybe 15 minutes away.
Yeah, just come over and tell us these things. Oh, no. The movie was a lot of fun. It was a blast. There were some, he said there were some what the F word moments.
What the fuck moments.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, there are quite a few of those that you don't. And I think even just the last end credit scene is insane.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot of it, this movie, that you don't see coming. But yeah, really exciting. All right, here's our next mail.
Hey, Delphin Pod. This is Danny from the Netherlands, and I just want to say I really like the movie. I love how it starts out like a science fiction movie, contemporary science fiction movie, and then moves into a 90s buddy cop movie. And I even think they use different lenses to give the movie a more vintage look. Then you have the flying scenes. You felt like Top Gun, and then you finally move into the superhero movie. So it was really cool. After the movie, I felt a bit disoriented, as it's completely different from all the other Marvel movies. You have movies like Doctor Strange and Iron Man and even the Guardians, where you don't like the characters. But through their arc, you learn to love them. And this movie is different because this movie doesn't ease you into liking the character. She kicks ass and you just have to love her for it. But I guess that's the whole point that the movie's trying to make. One thing I did miss in the movie, in the final fight scene, you have Just a Girl starting to play, and which is really cool, but they could have made that movie so much cooler if they could have made that scene so much cooler if they sync the fighting to the beat of the song, kind of like James Gunn does it in Guardians. But yeah, it's cool though. I'm really excited to see how she's gonna team up with the Avengers, how it's gonna work with Thor and everybody, seeing such a powerful force coming in. But also, I kind of would have liked to see how the Avengers, the remaining Avengers, are gonna solve their way out of this predicament. So, but we'll see. Oh, and no way I trust those Skrulls. 4 Skrulls came down to find Carol, but only 3 are accounted for. I know that 4 Skrulls up to something. Anyway, keep up the good work and big fans. See you later. Bye.
Hello, Danny from the Netherlands. Thank you so much for calling. And oh my gosh.
This was so impressive,
he
right?
Has a lot of really good points.
Danny.
So he did say it did feel like a lot of different movies that were all converging into one. Science fiction. He talked about Buddy Cop.
Yes.
I didn't know this, and we got to look into this, but it sounds like he said that they use different lenses
for different scenes to make it kind of gritty and feel like we're back in the 90s.
That's interesting.
I like that a lot. And I did notice it too. Whenever she's, especially by like the Blockbuster and things like that, like they make it look a little more...
she just landed in that time.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. And
what a time.
And he does have this idea of Captain Marvel as just being who she is, and you just have to.
Yeah,
be okay
I love
with
the
it.
way that he said it. He said that she just kicks ass and you love her for it. And I was like, oh my god, that's such a good way to put it.
He also had a good point about how James Gunn's Guardians movies.
Oh, I love that idea of his.
His soundtrack always has a purpose with the music, and they're synced. And this one, it does feel like they
tried,
or they may not even known what song they were going to put.
But it makes sense. It makes sense. No doubt. Come on.
No doubt.
I'm just a girl. You got it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he brings up a lot of really good points towards the end. It is going to be exciting to see the Avengers with Captain Marvel.
Yes.
I do get what he says about them trying to figure it out on their own
solution.
But I think part of it is I'm not sure if Captain Marvel is that. I mean, we think of her as just being the silver bullet, like the magical thing that fixes everything.
Right.
But she may not be.
Right, because she still has to fight Thanos.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them have to fight Thanos.
It would be more entertaining if she wasn't just the one thing that they needed.
Yeah, of course.
They still needed to do other things.
Yeah.
And then definitely that cliffhanger of the Skrulls.
I didn't even notice that. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't realize that 4 of them started out because 4 of them went to go look for Carol. And then only 3 of them were accounted for. So I'm assuming those are the ones that he died.
Yeah, we got to do the math. But also, there are probably millions of other Skrulls.
Oh, for sure. We talked about it on the pod. Yeah. There's a bunch of them all throughout the galaxy. They're just hiding in different spots. Even in Captain Marvel, they were hiding in that one specific lab.
You're smart not to trust them, Danny. Never. I could be a Skrull. For all you know.
Holy fuck.
We can all be Skrulls.
This whole relationship is a lie.
It's funny because the voicemail translates them into, I guess, what it thinks
like
they're
a transcript?
Trying to say. So instead of Skrulls, every time he said Skrulls, it translated it to squirrels. And so I didn't listen to it at first. I just read it. I was like, what is he talking about? The squirrels? There's 3 squirrels. Some of the squirrels aren't accounted for.
That's funny.
What's he talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. We did get some voicemails, but because of I guess reception or quality, we couldn't play them.
Yeah, there's some of them that are really muffled. So be sure to speak loudly and clearly because I felt so upset. I was like, man, I want everyone to be heard.
Sometimes it's not your fault, and I think this next time we're going to do this again for Endgame. I think what we may do is if you want to record yourself instead of doing this for voicemail. If you want to record yourself, you can just...
send in the recording instead?
Yeah, send in the recording from your phone. Some of you guys may have a recording studio.
Right.
Record yourself there. Write a mixtape.
On professional equipment, please.
Send it back, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard. We do it all the time.
You know what? We also don't even have a theme song. If you have an actual legit recording studio,
that would be true. Yeah.
Let us know if that's possible. Yeah, again.
Because we don't... All we have is the little... Wait, no, that's Game of Thrones.
And it's live. We always have a 50-piece orchestra playing playing it here every time we do an episode.
And that gets pricey, you guys. Please buy the shirts to help us out with that. Come on. And rent.
Yeah. So that is all. So thank you guys all so much for participating. Again, we are selling shirts, bonfire.com/countdown to infinity.
Countdown to infinity.
We're still not, I don't even know. We record so many episodes at different times. I don't know what our next episode is, but it is going to be exciting.
We're super organized.
Yeah. Follow us at DelphinPod on all social media. Make sure to tell all your friends about the show. There's only about a month or two left before.
I don't even think it's a month.
Endgame. I think it's maybe a little over a month.
Tomorrow it would be a month.
So Endgame is coming out soon. If you want to get them hyped, listen to this podcast. Listen to all the episodes. Rate it. Review it on iTunes.
Rate it and review it.
Rate it, review it, share it. Because we want everyone to be so excited for Endgame. Just like we are.
Yes, we're very excited.
Nice. So do you have anything to plug or...
No, just listen to the pod, this one, that one, all of them on DelphinPod, DelphinPod. And then also, I guess just my Twitter. Hey guys, follow me on if Twitter's not down. So that works. What?
Say your username. Sorry.
I was like, what?
Go.
At _Simply Sophie, SIMPLY SOFIEE.
So we did have some comments on Instagram, but the reason why she said that is Instagram isn't working right now.
Yes, it's not.
Facebook and Instagram is down, so we can't read those. So I'm so sorry. We waited as long as we could. We literally, this episode's coming out in 30 minutes. We waited as long as we could, but still. Hashtag Facebook down.
Blackout 2K19.
2K19. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.